Welcome to another episode of No Buts About It. It is Tuesday, July 18th, 2023. I'm here, as always, with Chus, who is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in his basement. However, we start today's show. We're going to start. We have good news and we have bad news. So, the bad news, Murray, your bird has passed away, correct?
Yes, Murray, the bird, depending on how long you have watched the show, the loud squawking in the background a lot of times when I would talk, probably in like some of the earlier shows and appearances that I did a lot more when we would do morning and afternoon shows. He would be right, you guys can't see it, but he would be like to the left of me. I don't know where I'm going to pop up on the screen, so, but he was always there, and he passed away last week, a couple of days after we recorded. Probably not a couple of days, but multiple. Like it was probably like maybe a week or so after we recorded the last episode. It was like midweek last week. So, but it's very sad. He was 7, which is very very long for a house wren. We had picked him up outside because he got kicked out of his nest, and we weren't expecting him to live. But then he ended up living 7 years. And by the time year 1 came around, we were going to re-release him. He had a bum foot and all that stuff. And then we even named him, Latavius Murray on the show, I think.
Latavius Murray, that's right.
Yeah, Latavius Murray.
This episode is dedicated in memoriam of Latavius Murray, the bird. But the good news is, it is Chus's dad, Tom's birthday today. Is it today, or are you just celebrating?
Yeah. No, it is today. It is in fact today.
So we are also dedicating the show, this episode, to Tom.
Yes, because he watches our show, or watches and listens to our show very consistently, and he deserves some recognition. So thanks, Dad.
He got that Ethernet cable so that Chus doesn't lag anymore.
Yeah, which I haven't been, luckily. I mean, I lag maybe a little bit, but
Shout out to Tom. So this show is for Tom. Well, the big news that came out this week was something we talked about in the last episode, was where is DeAndre Hopkins going to go? We talked about he wants to go to a contender. He should be ring chasing because he's already, in I think we both agreed, a Hall of Fame wide receiver, but he doesn't have that Super Bowl ring yet. And that's a lot of weight when it comes to getting into the Hall of Fame. And so we said maybe he should go somewhere where he could definitely get a ring. Figured the Chiefs, maybe the Bills. And he had said, I want to go to a competitor. I'm going to go somewhere where we're going to be competitive. We're going to win. We're going to get a ring. And Patriots got thrown out there because him and Belichick have a good relationship. Didn't end up there. Didn't end up in Kansas City with Mahomes. Didn't end up in Buffalo. He ended up in Tennessee, which was a name that was tied to him for a while. But after he said that competitor thing, people were like, maybe not there, because they don't really have a team right now. They got Ryan Tannehill, who might get benched for Malik Willis, who also might get benched for Will Levis. He doesn't even know who's going to be throwing to him. But that's where veteran quarterbacks go to die, as we will talk about later. What was the contract?
So D-Hop's contract is a 2-year, $26 million deal with the chance for up to $32 million, but it's over the course of the 2 years. So he can get an extra $3 million in bonus money for each of the 2 years based on receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. So I don't know what kind of milestone he has to hit. I'm guessing like receptions, maybe like I'm assuming for like receiving yards is probably like 1,000 or something, like maybe 500 to 1,000. Same with touchdowns, maybe like 5 to 10 touchdowns. I have no idea how many like catches, but he can get up to $3 million extra per year. So it could be a maximum contract of $32 million. I don't think it's a terrible deal, but I definitely question D-Hop's move going to Tennessee, just because, not that Tennessee is in bad, but I definitely think they're in a lot bigger of shambles than they have in the past because they don't know what quarterback they're going to run with. Granted, Ryan Tannehill, he was the guy in charge whenever Derrick Henry went on that rampage and they went to the AFC Championship that one year, and like that's great, but like in the end they might either replace him with, as you said, either Malik Willis or even Will Levis, who they drafted just this year, and it's kind of it was almost a situation of even the Pittsburgh Steelers last year. You had Mitchell Trubisky and Kenny Pickett, and then Mitch got benched for Kenny, and then Kenny would get hurt and Mitch would go back in. And it was just like a back and forth thing. I mean, granted, it wasn't as bad as, the Jets trying to figure out what the heck they were doing with Zach Wilson and White and all those guys over in New York. But like that, we might have a little bit of another quarterback carousel going on in Tennessee, and D-Hop's just going to be thrown right into the middle of it. And personally, I don't think it's a great idea if D-Hop's trying to go to a contender, but I think it's risky for him. It's a great move for the Titans because, bringing on DeAndre Hopkins, bringing on like a star wide receiver is just good in itself for publicity, but we'll see.
So I've got two things. I don't know. I can't remember what A.J. Brown's contract looks like, but to me, it's a little weird that they traded A.J. Brown to the Eagles.
Yes.
Who was young. He was a 2019 rookie, I believe. And then I believe they used that draft pick that they got for A.J. Brown on Treylon Burks, who is a wide receiver. And now they've brought in DeAndre Hopkins. Imagine if they had kept A.J. Brown and DeAndre Hopkins. That'd be a much better team. Is it a 2-year? It's a 2-year deal?
Yeah, it's a 2-year deal. 26,
so
13 a year. 13 mil.
If he plays through his 2-year deal, then I think Ryan Tannehill is a free agent next year, which means next year, who knows? This year, it's questionable who it's going to be, and Ryan Tannehill's slated to play. Next year, it could be some random dude. They could draft another guy. They've drafted 2 quarterbacks in the last 2 drafts now. They've drafted Malik Willis last year. They drafted Will Levis this year. Other point, the reason I said this is where wide receivers go to die, it's not necessarily the last team that they played for, but Randy Moss played for the Titans. Not a lot of people remember that or know that. He was 33 years old when he was on the Titans. He had a short season with Tennessee. He got there about halfway when Minnesota, I think they either traded him or they cut. I don't think they cut him. But anyway, he got under 100 yards. He was injured, but this is Randy Moss we're talking about. Arguably the greatest wide receiver to ever play the game, under 100 yards in a Tennessee Titans jersey. Then we go to Andre Johnson, 35 years old when he was there, 85 yards in 8 games the entire season. Another guy who is likely going to be a Hall of Famer, I think. Maybe not first ballot, but I think he'll sneak his way in there. Julio Jones played for the Titans. It wasn't his final team. He only got 434 yards and 1 touchdown in 10 games. D-Hop is 31. We don't know how many yards he's going to get, how many touchdowns. He just signed there.
Yeah.
What is it about Tennessee and getting these Hall of Fame wide receivers at the end of their career? I wonder.
Do you know when this is something so unrelated, but I just thought of this. Do you happen to know what year Randy Moss went to the Titans? I mean, it's probably not what I'm thinking because I feel like he was a little. It was like
I looked at.
I don't even want to guess.
It was I think it was in 2010, and he played for 3 teams in 2010.
So the Titans was one of them.
He played for Minnesota for 4 games, then he went to New England and then for 4 games, and then he ended up in Tennessee for 8 games.
So the reason I say that is because in 2008, the Tennessee Titans made the worst mistake of their franchise lives and started wiping the terrible towel with their sneakers, and they became crap after that. And they always called it the terrible towel curse.
So that's why they're getting all these Hall of Fame wide receivers.
Well, that's why I feel like it's because it happened in 2008. Happened like towards the end of 2008, when the Tennessee Titans, they did their good old like this, started blowing their nose with it. Next thing you know, they just start sucking air. So, and since like that Derrick Henry era, they haven't even been anywhere close. But with the Titans, the reason I just said that is just because it was 2010. It was like pretty fresh that happened. It took a while, but they finally apologized. It was kind of funny, but I don't even know. There's a lot of weird Pittsburgh stories that you wouldn't probably know. It's like knowing Cincinnati stories, but like apparently at one point they like apologized and like sent a bunch of money to like Pittsburgh charities or something. I don't really remember the whole story, but it was really funny because they just wanted the curse to be released because it sucked.
I mean, do you view the Titans as a contender now with D-Hop? I mean,
no, absolutely not. I mean, I don't really see them changing at all. I mean, it's like it was back in. It's like the same thing with like some of these wide receivers or just players that they get. I don't think that like gaining, Randy Moss in 2010. I don't think that really would have changed how their season would have went. Like they're like, oh, we brought on Randy Moss. It's like, whoa. It's like, okay, yeah, well, Randy Moss is just got done playing with New England for a couple games and Minnesota for a couple games. Like it ain't that special. So, but with D-Hop, like he went from Houston to Arizona to here, and that's cool. But I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it makes them a contender because I don't think they're going to know who's throwing him the ball.
Well, I don't even think they'll win the South personally because the
Absolutely
Jaguars.
not.
Jaguars are still in there. I think the Jaguars have the South unless Anthony Richardson is a G, and I don't think he is.
I think if AR does blow up, and I've always said this, I hope he proves me wrong, but I think the only way AR is going to blow up is once they have a complete offense. I don't think they have a complete offense yet. I think they're still missing a couple pieces. I think maybe, their line might need a little bit of help. I don't even know who their running back is off the top of my head.
Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, shoot. You're right. Jonathan Taylor is. Well, I guess. I don't know. The Indianapolis Colts for me are just a very forgettable team. So unless something like really changes, it's just. Listen, buddy, he also gets hurt 95% of the time. So it's not. I don't draft him in fantasy. I don't do anything with Jonathan Taylor. I kind of just overlook him completely because he's the same thing with freaking. When I was harassing you about Joe Mixon, I'm like, just wait until he gets hurt week 6.
Oh, you mean the guy who took a pay cut so that we can pay our boys on defense?
Yeah,
and T. Higgins.
Yeah. You were telling me that Joe Burrow was going to take a pay cut.
Joe Burrow's going to do it too. Technically, he did. He let us pick up his 5th-year option, which is definitely cheaper this year than what we're going to have to pay him next year.
Yeah, and you don't. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Joe Burrow is going to stay in Cincinnati. I don't think he's going to go anywhere else. I don't want you to be like, oh, yeah, he's not going to get the money he deserves in Cincinnati. He's going to stay, but I think he's going to get what he wants. I don't think he's going to get a cut. I think it's going to be like, like a high salary,
No one is doubting whether Joe will stay in Cincinnati. It's whether T and Chase can stay in Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's more or less. But I think there's a chance that you can keep Chase and Burrow, but I don't think you guys are going to be able to keep T, unfortunately. Just because.
Watch.
I'm just saying, if you have Joe Burrow on such a high contract and then you have to sign Jamar Chase, arguably one of the best receivers in the league right now, to like mega extensions, like there's not a chance you're going to be able to get T. Higgins. And that's not a bad thing. It's just you'll just have an opportunity to draft another wide receiver,
If you're new to the show, this is the part of the show where we randomly get off topic while I'm trying to manifest Bengals players' contracts. So we're going to end this portion of the show and go back to DeAndre Hopkins. Bill O'Brien, he was the coach for the Houston Texans when DeAndre Hopkins was there, and now he is the offensive coordinator in New England. Do you think that maybe had something to do with him not wanting to play in New England? Maybe he was like, nah, I've dealt with this guy before. We are not doing this again. I'm out of here.
Yes. And the reason I say that is just because at the time with Houston, I feel like they all kind of left, or they all were trying to leave at once. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but like after everything like kind of started crumbling, it was like D-Hop wanted out, JJ wanted out, and, Deshaun, they all wanted out, like almost immediately.
JJ's a big one because.
And I never thought I would see the day
JJ's a
that
team
JJ.
guy.
Well, yeah, and I never thought I'd see the day that JJ Watt would walk out of the freaking Houston Texans because
Yeah.
he set up like charity funds and all that stuff down in the city of Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was big down there. Just for him to hightail it to Arizona was insane to me. But I think there was a lot more than just some team problems. I think there was a lot of issues that were going on behind closed doors. I think there's a culture issue down in Houston. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know what their owner's doing, but that's a whole nother episode.
But I think D Hop, in my opinion, wanted to stay away from New England just because it's almost like old roots, and it's like, yes, I know the guy, but like I don't really, if he wants to stay away from that type of culture, he wouldn't want to go back to his old roots,
It could be that he knows the guy, and that's why he.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think the reason was for not going to the Chiefs or the Bills? I mean, I love that he didn't because that helps the Bengals.
Well, yeah.
Out,
I mean, it.
I sincerely thought he was going to end up on the Chiefs.
I thought it was going to be the Chiefs or the Bills. I really did. I mean, I think it might just come down to money. I mean, the Chiefs. The problem with the Chiefs though is like they're a very interesting franchise just because they'll sign these random guys and Patrick Mahomes will just make them look good, just kind of like a Tom Brady almost. Like who was Chris Hogan before Tom Brady? Nobody.
Right.
But like the point is I think Patrick Mahomes, I think with Kansas City, I think they've just realized that they don't need like superstars to win. They can just win with whoever they can. Because like I said last year's Super Bowl, like it wasn't that exciting of a win. They had the most random like rookie and second year players that I've ever heard of in my life. And I'm like, who are these players? But they won. And I'm like, great, that's awesome.
7th round pick, Isaiah Pacheco, running back.
And he's
with
a
touchdown in the Super Bowl. Did he get 1,000 yards rushing?
I don't know, but I know that he was really good because if you watched him play for his like, he's not a huge he's not a huge guy, but for the player that he is, he's a tank. He's a little tank.
I don't know if he's a tank or if he's just so like he's just
elusive.
Slippery. Yeah,
he might be elusive.
So he played 17 games and he got 830 rushing yards as a rookie with 5 touchdowns, which is pretty decent considering they like to pass the ball and the Chiefs do whatever they want. But yeah, I thought for sure he was going there. I'm glad that he didn't. Bills would have been dangerous as well.
It was either that like they're content with their teams, or maybe it had cap issues, or they were only going to be willing to sign them to like a 1-year $8 million contract, and it looks like it was a 2-year up in Tennessee. And I don't know, maybe there was a lot more behind closed doors. Was he ever even tied to either of those teams?
He was tied to the Chiefs a lot, and then people just assumed Buffalo because they're always in the Super Bowl talk, which is fair. But I don't understand. I mean, I get he loves the game, but he's 31, which is getting up there for a receiver. I would say I'm not DeAndre Hopkins, but I would think if you have a 1-year deal and you're like, we're going to go win a Super Bowl, I would retire on winning the Super Bowl. I wouldn't just play another year after that, I wouldn't think, and risk injury.
Yeah.
If all I'm doing is ring chasing, I'd get that ring and be like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Maybe he'd want to run it back, but I don't know. What's up next on the docket?
Oh, so on the next little list of mine that I have here, we were gonna discuss a good old Josh Jacobs and Saquon and Tony Pollard, who did not sign any long-term contract extensions, which means that they would have to sign their franchise tags. Tony Pollard did, but Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley did not, which is very interesting because they will not get penalized. And this is straight from ESPN and with Adam Schefter. So they are not expected to get penalized for missing or skipping training camp. And they won't start having any money penalty losses or anything like that until they start missing games. So I don't know if that counts as preseason or if that's just regular season, but they are not. They are currently unsigned. Like they didn't sign anything. It's a really odd spot, but it's very similar to Melvin Gordon. It's very similar to Le'Veon Bell. I mean, in that article on ESPN, they even mentioned Le'Veon Bell was the last player to sit out for an entire season in 2018, and I was like, I don't even want to think about that. um, but yeah, so Le'Veon Bell, and then obviously you had Melvin Gordon for half a season, missing out, and then Austin Eckler started blowing up, and then Melvin Gordon decided to come back in and ended up losing his job anyway. But I don't think it's a good move because we've talked about running backs before on the show, more recently than not, that I don't know. I just feel like there's really not that high of a demand for running backs right now. I feel like teams are just kind of like, all right, we're just going to run with what we have, and we don't really want to go and trade or make any big moves for some 27, 28-year-old running back, which is insane because a lot of these really good running backs that have been out there, such as, Saquon and stuff that people have talked about moving around and trading and all these different players, nobody really wants them. Very interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, I've said it before on the show. I've really come to respect the running back position because that's where football started. Those were all the big stars. Jim Thorpe played a lot of running back. Red Grange, the Galloping Ghost, played a lot of running back. Those were the guys that, like, when George Halas and all these big names that we know now were trying to get football spread, they would send these guys out on tours and be like, come see the Galloping Ghost, Red Grange. And these were these tanks that people would come out to see, and they'd be like, this is what football is. And now it's the big names are Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. They're all quarterbacks, which that's just how things go. The game evolves. But I think that we need to maintain an element of the run game, of the roots of the game. Because if you're just passing the whole time, that's just going to get boring. And another thing is, I saw this tweet. I forget who. I want to say the Daily Scout or someone tweeted it. But it basically said, draft a running back, have him play through his rookie contract, repeat. And Austin Eckler quoted it, and he was like, this is so disrespectful. Derrick Henry's mad. Austin Eckler was upset yesterday, and understandably, because what they're basically being told is that if you do the touches, I think the running back is the only position that touches the ball as much or just under as much as the quarterback, but they get hit a lot more than the quarterback because they're driving up the line, and they're one of the lowest paid positions with respect to what they do on the field. We talked about Joe Mixon taking his pay cut. I think he did that partially because he wanted to stay in Cincinnati. I think another part was because he had an offseason from hell. And then also he saw what was going on with these other guys, with Saquon. With Zeke's not on a team. Zeke's a free agent right now.
Which is something I forget about a lot more than usual.
Saquon and Josh Jacobs are both younger than Joe Mixon. Zeke is a year older, and as far as the draft class goes. And these guys can't get signed. It's like, but then you have 7th round pick Isaiah Pacheco coming out, and he's scoring touchdowns in the Super Bowl. So it's like,
it's almost like it's not needed, because even Austin Eckler, for example, like, wasn't he an undrafted free agent? Like he wasn't and he's their number one guy. It's like, it's almost like it doesn't even matter anymore. So it's like, basically it's come to a point where it's like there are some really dominant running backs, but as you get past the age of 26, sorry, we're going younger, like, because we don't want to deal with the injury and stuff.
Well, and Eckler's running back class was dominant. You've got Dalvin Cook, who's with the Dolphins now, Joe Mixon 2017, Christian McCaffrey was 2017. All great running backs. There's three right there.
Dalvin Cook in Miami is something else.
But I mean, I don't. I want to do more research on this topic. We could probably do a whole video on the running back position because I love the running back position. I think the tight end position is the only position I like to watch more
I mean,
because I'm weird.
we talked about
But
tight ends before too on the show. I mean, we kind of came to the consensus that the game has changed and it is always changing. But I think that I still feel the tight end is a very crucial part of
the
Super Bowl teams. So
the game has changed, but I want to see a way that we can get these running backs paid because people are going to say, "Oh, they make millions of dollars," which, okay, fair. Yes, they make millions of dollars to play a game. But at the same time, there's also an industry and there's a reason they're making millions of dollars, and it's because we're watching them. And so they're looking at the guys around them who are in the same industry as them, and they're wanting to get paid in relationship to what those other guys are getting paid. And I think that's fair. I want there to be a scenario where we can maintain the running back position and we can maintain the what we've got going on now with the passing game. But I want these guys to get paid too. So it's like I've got three things going on that I don't know if they necessarily mesh. But it's so weird to me. Because I mean, I was gonna say look at all the historic running backs, and the first one that came to mind was O.J. Simpson. But Eric Dickerson, Walter Payton, Jim Brown,
O.J. Simpson,
Barry Sanders, O.J. Simpson. Hey, O.J. Simpson was a beast on the field, and I won't comment on his status off the field because I might meet him one day, maybe. Hey,
you're gonna meet OJ?
Yeah, at the ESPYs. We're accepting our award.
When we're accepting our awards. Okay. Yeah.
When Livy Dune and OJ Simpson give us our awards. Yeah.
Livy
That's
Dune.
How that's going to happen. Yeah.
Is it Dune or Dunn?
I don't know. Livy, if you listen to the show, message me and let me know how to pronounce your last name.
I'm pretty sure it's Dunn, but
it could be. I don't know.
It could be Dune, I guess.
I just named a famous athlete. But yeah, is there anything else you wanted to say on the? I might do a full episode on the. I might do like a half hour, just short on the running back position.
Well, it can't be a half hour short. Shorts are only a minute long, but.
Well, no, I mean like a shorter podcast episode.
Yeah. Okay. No, I think I'm good. I mean, I was just gonna move on to the next type of, mention here.
What do we have?
So I was originally going to go to this other one, but I think since we brought his name up, I want to talk about him first. The running back Le'Veon Bell.
Okay.
Since we did bring him up, hey, listen, Le'Veon Bell. We had talked about, I've talked about numerous times for making a huge mistake. For me, it's not necessarily him leaving the Steelers, but it was more or less on the basis of him sitting out for the entire year, and after sitting out the entire year, watching his career kind of just taking a little bit of a nosedive. So, I mean, granted, he's responded to a ton of comments. Like, there's a post on this one account on one of these accounts, and it was a Steeler fan page, and Le'Veon Bell was like responding to a ton of comments in the comment section. It was really odd, but like he was responding to them and stuff. But he was like, he didn't apologize for sitting out, but he apologized for leaving. And he's not necessarily sorry. He's sorry to the fans for leaving, but he wouldn't go back and change it because it made him who he was or something like that. I forget how he worded it, but long story short, basically Le'Veon Bell posted on his Snapchat the other day a response from a fan. I guess he's a Steelers fan. This guy who swiped up on his Snapchat story, and he more or less demanded an apology. He was like, it was really weird. It was like, you owe Steelers fans an apology or something like that. And I was like, and personally, from a Steelers fan, I would never demand an apology from anybody, especially a player who is just, necessarily looking out for himself. I don't agree with sitting out for the whole year, but like, do what you got to do, man. Do whatever. I don't even care anymore. But like, I'm not gonna go out of my way and bother Le'Veon Bell and be like, you bum. You should apologize for your actions to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's such a delayed response. Didn't he leave in like 20? James Conner was 2017.
Yeah, because James Conner filled in for him, and then Le'Veon Bell sat out in 2018. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So yeah, and James Conner.
It took this guy 5 years to get mad enough to demand an apology.
Yeah, this guy was like, you, and I was like, this is so stupid. Like Le'Veon Bell, whatever. I was like, okay. So, but he apologized, and I guess Le'Veon Bell had been like, I guess expressing a lot of love to Steelers fans recently, just like, sending love to them and stuff on all these Steelers pages and stuff. But I didn't like the Steeler fan or whoever the fan was that demanded an apology. I think it was kind of dumb, but I guess it did prompt a really cool video of Le'Veon Bell kind of wishing that he hadn't left Pittsburgh, and also responding to a ton of fans in the comments of a bunch of random Instagram, social media Steelers pages. So I think that was kind of cool, but I don't know. I mean, it's not like he's going to come back to the Steelers or anything like that. I mean, he's old, and we have Najee, and we're set. I mean, times change, and he's older. So
I would have saved up for 5 years and then requested a cameo from Le'Veon Bell where he is apologizing to the Steelers.
No, didn't somebody do that with Antonio Brown?
Probably, dude.
Somebody paid Antonio Brown to say something about the Steelers, for like $500. It wasn't bad. It was like good. It was like, oh yeah, go Steelers. And Antonio Brown in his cameo was just like, and yeah, go Steelers. It's like, okay, Antonio, okay. It's like, okay.
That man, what an interesting guy.
But yeah, so I don't know how you feel about Le'Veon Bell apologizing, or if you have any thoughts on that. I mean, I know you couldn't care less because Le'Veon Bell used to run all over your Bengals back in the day during that era. So
I mean,
now Joe Mixon does it to us. It's okay. I'm not gonna act as if that's not true. Or last year it was Samaje Perine.
Yeah.
So I can't really say it was Mixon, but Perine
freaking our backup murdered you. No, I don't really have any feelings about it because I respected Le'Veon Bell as a player. I think he probably, if he hadn't have sat out and had maintained pace on his career, he might have an argument for the Hall of Fame, but that's not what happened. And now he doesn't. So he's kind of just one of those guys that is going to be on the wayside. As I kind of put him in the same category as Luck, because people are going to talk about him going into the Hall of Fame, but he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I mean, Andrew Luck had all the potential in the world, but hey, man, when you got to hang it up, you got to hang it up. For Andrew Luck, it was based on his injuries, whereas Le'Veon Bell tried to murder him. Yeah, yeah, really. Yeah, really. Poor Indianapolis, man. They haven't been able to catch a break since Peyton Manning left. I mean,
Andrew was good. Andrew got
he was good, but he didn't.
He just
did. They didn't win a Super Bowl with Andrew Luck, did they?
No,
that's why I didn't think so.
No, they made it to a few AFC championships though, including the Deflategate one.
Oh shoot, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, but. I know one of the guys who listens to this is a huge Colts fan, and he's not a huge Frank Reich fan, so I think he's going to be happy with our take about how they treated Andrew Luck. So
yeah,
I guess Chuck Pagano was there for a little bit with him too, but I think Frank Reich kind of. I like Chuck, so we'll blame Frank.
Whatever, man. I mean, I don't follow Indianapolis. Like I said, I forgot that Jonathan Taylor was even on the team, so I mean, I can't really have an opinion on them.
Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce.
What about them?
Gardner Minshew was on there for a second.
Isn't he still on there? Didn't he just signed, I thought.
Oh yeah, you're right. I was thinking that was Nick Foles. The running backs they've gone through so many quarterbacks, it's gotten confusing.
Yeah.
What's up next?
All right. So, the final thing that I have, because the one story that we were gonna talk about, I think we already had highlighted on a show about new rules and stuff. So the last one, which is also AFC North related, is the Browns are getting their alternate jersey, or they have already announced their alternate jersey for the season.
This baby right here.
This one that is, for my screen, it's loading, and this monstrosity of a freaking jersey. I didn't know that Cleveland was moving south, to be completely honest. I really didn't think that they were going to Auburn, Alabama to start playing football and become the Auburn Browns, but I guess times change, and I still think that these freaking jerseys look like Auburn, and I thought they were brown. Like I thought they were brown. The Browns. Like why are they freaking white? No, I don't. I mean, orange I get, whatever, but like what is happening here?
I got a message from one of my friends he was saying, "Hey, there's a rumor going around Cleveland. They're going to have a new jersey set up, and they released this teaser video, and here's what they think the jersey is going to look like." And it was this setup. The orange was a little bit darker in the photo. I responded, "It looks like Auburn." And he was like, "I guess I can see where you'd think that." And then like a few hours later, he responded. He was like, "Dang it. Now I only see Auburn when I look at the jersey." So I think this is David Njoku who is modeling it for us.
Yeah.
Good tight end. Not a great jersey. NFL Twitter is where this photo's from, and they said it looks very clean. I disagree.
I don't. I think it's freaking.
You think it's clean?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I said no. I 100%. I was like, no, I disagree with the NFL for saying it's clean.
Oh, okay.
Like, I know you guys can't see this, but this is literally Auburn's jerseys. Like, I know you can't see it, but they look the same. If you look at Auburn, like Josh, if you look up Auburn's white jerseys, they literally look just like them. Just look up like Auburn. Look up Auburn white jersey.
Hopefully, nothing bad shows up in my search history.
Well, I don't. It's not. Where is it? Go to images. You're in.
I know how to use Google.
Okay, well that's
kind of.
Why is it? It's really not showing it. Football.
Google is working against us. Why are there none of the players wearing them?
And also, why is it only showing freaking? Are you like it is broken? Because I just saw it on mine.
There we go.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
There's a player.
I don't think you were clicking images.
It's okay. The people who are listening on Spotify can't see it anyway. So
yeah, but I just like look at that. You're telling me that doesn't look like? That's Anthony Schwartz too. Yeah.
Hey, and he's on the Browns.
Yeah, you're telling me that this isn't just a remodeled version. You know, like this, they took the basis of Auburn and just remodeled it, and we're like, we are the Cleveland Browns now. That's like we are the New Jerseys that we have picked out. We've pretty much just stolen them from Auburn, and we are now the Auburn Browns, which it just doesn't.
It looks like they thickened the black lines a little bit up here on the helmet.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, and they darkened the orange.
Yeah. That's all they did. Auburn is like a navy blue, and obviously I don't think there's any like real navy blue in these jerseys. It looks like it's going to be brown and orange, but like it's the same layout. It's like Iowa's football team. They literally just like I think it's Iowa State. They have the same exact jerseys as the Steelers. So
why would I want
a Bengals white tie? What are you looking up, bro?
I know what I'm looking up.
I don't know what you're looking up right now. To our Spotify listeners, he just looked up Bengals white tiger on Google, and it came up with a bunch of white tigers with black
Bengals
stripes.
Fans know what I'm looking up. This.
What, the white and black, Joe Burrow, or the
white tiger jersey?
I mean, but that's kind of hard though.
That's what I'm saying. That's what this here is what the Browns thought they were going to be competing with this jersey here.
No, those are cool. I like the style of those because it's a white tiger, and Bengals are like big cats, you know. So it's a cool. Like I like that. The Browns are just like, oh, we're going with a white alternate, and just for their like 75th anniversary or something. I don't really understand what's going on, but
no, the Browns were like, hey, Bengals came out with a white jersey. We need to match it. And they came out with this. And now Auburn fans are going to be confused. They're going to turn on the TV on Sunday and they're going to be like, why is Auburn playing on Sunday? They're supposed to play on Saturday.
No, when Cleveland plays Pittsburgh, they're going to be like, why is Auburn playing Iowa State? Because I'm pretty sure it's Iowa State. Iowa State football.
Iowa State's black and yellow
jerseys,
aren't they?
Yeah, but I don't think it was. No, it's not Iowa State. Iowa. Oh, it's just Iowa. It's just Iowa. It's not Iowa State. It's Iowa. University of Iowa. But yeah, they're black and yellow. Their jerseys look almost, if Iowa played Auburn. When was the last time Iowa played Auburn? That's a great question. Iowa versus Auburn. Well, that was basketball. Auburn beat Iowa 83-75 tournament. You're in a tournament.
Glad you're happy about that.
Has Iowa ever played Auburn? Auburn?
I don't know, but
who wins?
If we lose to I hope the Browns are not wearing that white jersey if we lose to them. If we losing to the Browns is bad enough. Losing to the Browns in those ugly white jerseys.
I don't think Iowa's ever played Auburn. That's insane.
The reaction to that game on whatever the show after. If it's a Monday night game, it'll be Wednesday, but the reaction's going to be to whoever loses to that team. If it's the Bengals, I'll button them. I'll hit them with the button.
What, with those white jerseys on or whatever?
If the Bengals lose to the Browns and they're wearing those white jerseys, yes.
Well, you would think that the Bengals wouldn't lose to this Browns team, but
I would, but
well, everybody you should see some of these like predictions this year.
Are they wearing them week 1? Do you know?
I don't think so.
Because the Bengals have a weird thing with week 1. Like Mitch beat the Bengals, and I think we play the Browns week 1. So if they're wearing it week 1 and we lose, oh no.
Yeah, I'm about to sneeze again.
That's lovely.
Ugh. But yeah, I'm not sure. I don't even know. I know it's an alternate, which might mean that they might wear them on like a primetime game. So they might wear them on like a Thursday. So, for example, the Steelers might see them when they play Cleveland, because I'm pretty sure they're playing at Cleveland on Monday night.
I hate those jerseys.
So maybe we'll see them. I really don't want to see them on my TV. But hey, football is not that far away, guys. We're only like a month away from like preseason here.
That's true. And what's your date that you set for yourself? August 11th that you're gonna have all the videos and shorts up?
Well, not all the videos. The Jordan Battle video.
Okay. What about the rookie Jonathan Alvarado shorts?
I can do those ones too.
Okay.
But
we got to go back and listen. He promised everyone who listens.
Well, I promised the Jordan Battle video would be up, but I did not promise the other stuff because I forgot about the other stuff on the drive. I had some things that I needed to get done.
Okay.
So I've been running a sports league. I've been doing a whole lot of stuff. So got management and business stuff to get done.
51 days till the regular season.
51 days. What's your ceiling for the Bengals this year?
I don't want to be overconfident.
Okay.
They're gonna have some games where they lose for no reason at all. I'm gonna go 12-5.
12-5.
I think 12-5 is safe.
I think the Steelers. Honestly, I think the Steelers could go 11-6, but I'm thinking more of on the 9-8, 10-7 side, just because of Matt Canada. But our schedule is a lot easier than it was last year, and the fact we went 9-8 with the team that we had last year is pretty impressive. That's why I think we could pick up one more win.
I think ours is easier this year too.
So I mean, it's all wait to be seen, but
that's right.
It'll be fun as long as Baltimore and Cleveland, crap themselves this year. I don't really care which one of us wins the division, dude. Like, I don't care. As long as Baltimore and Cleveland are at the bottom, it'll just be really funny.
Yep. So is that all for you? Have the
Yeah.
schedule. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I mean, I had those 4 stories, and I didn't really, dig too far deep other than like looking at some new rules and stuff. But then I realized like we had already kind of talked about it a little bit. So I think that's really it. I mean, obviously there's been some teams tweeting and, obviously different things like that. But training camp's going to be starting up here soon. So keep an
Did
eye
you
on
get
all
your
that.
Jordan Battle jersey yet?
No, I did not get my Jordan Battle jersey yet. I have not. But
What the people are waiting for.
I have a DeMar Hamlin Buffalo Bills T-shirt that I bought.
That's not what I said.
I know, but I know. It wouldn't probably be a jersey. It'd probably start out as a shirt. But
Fake fan.
A fake fan.
I've been there since day one.
It hurts me to have to put on an orange and not my parents, my friends are literally dogging on me for it. Like, I'm like, oh, I want the Jordan Battle shirt, and they're like, you are going to wear an AFC North, a division rivals team T-shirt just because of one player, and I was like,
yeah, he is.
It just, I can't, I don't know. Oh, it hurts my heart.
It brings me so much joy.
It brings you so much joy.
When I like completely forgot about him and your connection with him. I didn't forget about him. I forgot about your connection with him. And then when it popped up, round 3, I believe it was, on that glorious day.
3. I actually like
Jordan Battle, safety, the Cincinnati Bengals.
When I saw that, my heart sank and I just kind of collapsed to the floor.
And
I was just so sad. I was
so excited.
Sad.
I was mad that they weren't taking a running back, but you know what? That made it okay. And I think Chase Brown's going to be fine.
No, I don't even know. I only know like only a couple players from this coming up draft. So, yeah, Jaden Daniels. You should draft Jaden Daniels.
Is he in your
quarterback out of LSU?
Oh, he can be our backup.
Jaden Daniels will not be your backup. Actually, he might. He actually probably would be. He's not some generational talent. He was going to be though. Brew McCoy, right? Brew McCoy didn't get drafted, I don't think yet.
Am I clear to go on?
Oh yeah, I mean you can go on your spiel. I'm gonna be blowing my nose because man, I think just between the smog and
you should mute your mic while you blow your nose.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm probably not even gonna be like. I'm probably gonna be looking away here. So.
Okay. While Chus blows his nose, thank you for listening to today's show. If you enjoyed, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We can be found anywhere you listen to podcasts and on YouTube at No Buts Show. Our social media pages are NoButs_show on Instagram and No Buts Show on TikTok, which Chus now has an ultimatum for. I believe it's August 11th. My Twitter is Josh_Butts_2001. I've been pretty active on there. I've got some fans. I haven't had any NFL players get mad at me yet, which is good. And if you would like to reach us, you can email us at bullmoosepodcast2, that's the number 2, @gmail.com. Finally, our spread shop will be in the description, so check out the merch. You can buy the Let Somebody Cook shirts, the hats that Chus is wearing. We got God is great, beer is good, football's fun, Chus is toxic, shirts, hats. We got aprons in there. We got to Let Somebody Cook apron. Chus is going to be saying that to the Titans. I can already feel it. But you can get ahead of that and you can go buy one, help support the show. And if you can't buy a clothing item, buy a sticker. It helps us too. Anyway, once again, if you enjoyed today's show, like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, go do something nice for someone.